Hi YouTubers, my name is Kevin and this is The Royal We. I want to talk with you about co-parenting with a narcissist. This is one of the most challenging things that you could possibly do in this life is learning to co-parent with a toxic, narcissistic, abusive person. Now in this message I want to talk with you about the perspective that the narcissist has in the situation, and then we're going to talk about the perspective of the children or of the child. And then finally, I want to talk about the perspective that you should have if you want to nurture and nourish a healthy relationship with your children. First of all, let's talk about the narcissist perspective. Now, we know that toxic narcissists are in it to win it. And so they're going to throw everything at this game that they're playing with you. If you're going through a separation or a divorce, they're going to fight you tooth and nail for custody. They're going to fight you over how much money they should pay for child support or shouldn't pay for child support, rather. They're going to fight you on who has the better family or the bigger family or is more capable of raising and guiding the children. And in the process, they will demean you and devalue you and try to cut you down and make you feel like you are not a good parent or an adequate parent. Point out all of your flaws and really criticize you and really make a case against you. Now, you want to know the saddest part about all of this from the narcissist perspective is that nothing that they are doing is out of a genuine care or concern for the child. None of it is genuinely because they want what's best for the child. The only reason the narcissist is fighting you so hard and making this big scene and causing all this ruckus and creating all these issues is so that they simply do not lose. They are in competition mode and the competition is against you. Narcissists cannot stand to think that they are not the best parent in the situation, because that's what narcissism is. They have to be the best in each and every and all situations. So their game they're playing is with you, and unfortunately, the child is a pawn in their game. Now, it's important for you to understand this principle, and you have to get this, because this is going to help you to understand the child's perspective, which we're going to talk about next. And it's also going to help you to understand better what your perspective should be. Now then, moving on to the child's perspective. Now, you may see the child react to the toxic narcissistic parent, oftentimes in a way that looks like it's favoring the toxic parent. Maybe a narcissistic co-parent will grab the child and say, "Come with me, we're leaving your mom, she's toxic," and blah, blah, blah. Or, "Come on, we're leaving your dad," and you would leave him alone, and as she calls you names or whatever. Right? Dragging the child, and the child's going to go. But the child doesn't understand. The child's simply responding, saying, "That's my mom, my dad, they want me to go." That's all that is. Now let's get into the child's point of view. This is important. This is near and dear to me because I was that child. And many of you watching right now were that child who is being torn and who is a pawn in a game between a narcissistically abusive parent and a codependent parent, or two narcissistic parents, however you want to look at it. So let's talk about the child's perspective. Children have no idea or concept of what narcissistic abuse is. They have no way to articulate such a thing. They don't understand it on these deep levels that you do and what you're learning about, nor is it important to them. Here's what is important to them. The things that they are feeling and trying to process, this is what is important to children. This is what's important to children. Let's talk about what they know. Children know what it feels like to be alone. They know what it feels like to be terrified and scared. And this is typically true of abusive, toxic relationships where there's narcissistic abuse going on that is physical and loud and hostile and violent. They don't understand why mom and dad are screaming and throwing things. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand why dad's peeling out in the car down the street. They do not understand these things. But they're terrified, and that they understand. They're scared, and that they understand. Children understand loneliness. They understand when they're bored. They understand when they're being left alone. They understand when they're in need. These are the things that the child understands. So from the child's perspective, they don't even know how to begin to process everything that's taking place. They're not choosing sides. Don't look at it as the narcissistic co-parent is making your child choose a side and getting them on their side. They don't understand that. They're not playing sides. They don't know. They're just going along with whatever's being said. but they have not chosen a side. Okay? Here's what children need from you. And this is going to get into your role. This is going to get into the perspective that you should have in order to nourish a healthy parent-child relationship. Are you ready? Be there for the child. The child needs someone, your children need someone to just tell them that they're going to be okay. And if you can make that your role as a parent, forget about the narcissistic, toxic co-parent. Be the parent that you are called to be, and be the one who's genuinely concerned and cares about the child, and show that. Let the child know you're going to be okay. That's what I wish I heard growing up. You're going to be all right, Kevin. You're going to be okay. I know it's a difficult situation, and maybe this is what you wanted to hear as well. You're going to be all right. It's a tough time, but you're going to make it through. You're going to be all right. And then your role as a parent, as you continue on and nurture that relationship, would be dedicated to raising and guiding and disciplining the child and the children. Because listen, toxic, abusive narcissists, the co-parent who's narcissistic, you cannot rely on them to be a reliable source of discipline. Chances are, after all the fighting is said and done, and you guys are separated and you go your separate ways, when they take the children according to what they fought so hard for, here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, okay, kids, go outside and find something to do. Go play. Put them outside, close the door, don't come back until the lights are on. Because you know how narcissists operate. If they're not being entertained and there's no value and the children don't bring any value, they'll just say, go play, go find something to do. Or maybe they'll buy them a bunch of stuff and say, here, go play with all this stuff. But they'll be very neglectful, very low in discipline, even though they'll demand respect. Narcissists will demand respect, right? I mean, that's what they do. You will respect me, and they'll do whatever they have to do to the children to make sure they respect them, but they will neglect them. They will not properly discipline them, teach them, or educate them. So you make it your purpose and your perspective to focus on the children, their discipline, how they grow up. Be there for them. Let them know it's going to be okay. Help them understand and process their life, not your life with the narcissist, but help them understand your life. In time, as they grow up, they will be able to see the discrepancies between the way the toxic narcissistic parent says things and the way in which they act. They'll be able to see it. They'll be able to see, okay, I see you saying one thing, but then you're very neglectful and you don't show up for this. You tell me to go outside and play and you're not there. They'll grow up seeing that. So you, from your perspective, be the person, be the parent that the child may not otherwise have. Be dedicated to their life. Help them grow. Help them understand. Educate them. Love them. Tell them that it's going to be okay. They are going to be okay. This is what your child needs more than anything in this situation. And if you're dealing with children who right now appear to be going with the father, with the mother who's toxic or narcissistic, in time, they will understand and they will turn back around. So long as if you are that parent that lets them know and reminds them, you're going to be okay. All right. Well, listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. Visit www.jointheroyalwe.com where you can schedule a one-on-one appointment with me. We can do FaceTime. We can do a telephone call. We could even do text message. Again, www.jointheroyalwe.com. Also, every Monday night is Royal We Fellowship. Not fellowship. Every Monday night is Royal We Live Chat. There we go. Live chat is where the community comes together. We ask questions, answer questions, and you can even call in live so long as you know that the calls are on the show. Now then, this is Monday night. That's Royal We Live Chat. Saturday morning is Royal We Fellowship. This is an in-depth Bible study as it pertains to understanding this toxic narcissistic world. Every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. on Royal We Fellowship. It's unlike any other Bible study you've been a part of. You can find out all about this at www.jointheroyalwe.com. Also, scroll down into the description box down below. You can find links to all of these channels, and everything you need is down there. And I'll be back with more videos right here on the Royal We.